Hey y'all, hey, welcome back. It's another episode of the Sacred and Profane Podcast. I'm the hostess with all of the mostesses. That didn't even make sense, but whatever. It's Naftara Grace, your favorite embodied goddess. How are y'all doing? That's good, that's good. Hi, Mom and them. I love it. Yeah, I'm originally from Georgia. And it's not that we don't talk like that. It's not even that we do talk like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a convenient way of talking, isn't it? Hi, Mom and them. Anyway, I promise I'm absolutely okay. I'm fabulous, actually. There's a lot going on in the energy, and I'm enjoying it. I think I called this, I don't know when or where I spoke these words out, but I remember saying it's like Wonderland. But I really do mean like Aquarius. First of all, we're in the age of Aquarius, but we're about to go into Aquarius season, and it's starting to feel a bit warpy, which I'm telling you, for some reason, I love it. This feels fun for me. That's how it feels like I'm about to go on an amazing adventure. And I know it's going to be life changing, but it's going to be so amazing. That's how it is for me. And I'm aware, because of how wonky the energy is, that there are plenty of people who are terrified, like mess their pants terrified right now. So I think that's really, really interesting. And that's how we're going to start this reading. Okay. Let's get some runes out here. In the meantime, we'll also do some housekeeping, and that sounds a little bit like the Sacred and Profane Podcast is for adults only. This is a mature conversation for mature people. That means you must be at least 18 years of age to listen, to participate in this conversation. And regardless of how old you are, which is you do have to be over 18, but regardless of how old you are over 18, if you're not emotionally mature, we ask that you please stop listening now and come back later when you have matured emotionally. Okay? Um, these conversations are designed to trigger you in some way. This is your disclaimer. The entire conversation, the entire podcast series is a trigger warning. Okay. So, think you might hear something great. You might think this is awesome. Be careful before you run out and tell your friends. No, but seriously, you really want to honor where people are in their own healing process. The first one we have out here is Thurisaz for protection. Wow. Jera. Cycles. Okay. What's happening? Dagaz on intuition, light within, and Nauthiz for necessity. My. Hmm. I don't know. Something's over though. Something's over there. So, in preparation for this episode, if you've been listening to any of the episodes, if you've been listening to me at all, like you'll know that sometimes I hit the record button, and I'm very clear about what's going down. And sometimes I hit the record button, and I'm like, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? Today was one of those days where okay, this is the day I record, and went about my day, like I normally would. And I have chamomile tea here, and I use the flowers, not in a bag or anything. So I'm pretty excited. It's my second cup of tea so far. Shh, don't tell anybody. And I was just being with what are we gonna talk about? And my guys are right there. They're like, "We'll tell you when we get there." Because I'm walking through the house, like going from one room to the room where I do the recording. I will tell you when we get there. And I had this flashback. It was so cool, like this memory of when I used to do speaking engagements, when I used to work for a large organization. This is some years ago. I would lead conversations for transformations. I'd lead these transformational conversations, sometimes to a room of 5 people, sometimes to a room of like 305 people, right? Like it just varied. And uh, my training to do this kind of work was such that I could just literally be dropped in the middle of anywhere and lead a conversation for transformation. I got trained to do that. It's, I don't know if you can put it on your resume, but there you go. And so I just laughed, on the way to this room, like I really have been training for this, right? This job. I was born into this job, and it has been quite the task. I think not everybody is born into their job. I was born into mine. So anyway, a little ennui for us all. Uh, in the world of sacred and profane, I want to talk about spirit guides. No, you didn't see that coming. But I feel like it's really, really important. Because a bit of this Wonderland feeling that's there is because the veil between the 3D and the 4D is gone. Okay. And so, Cheshire Cat, we're all mad around here. So it's like really, not only are we, I mean, everything, we're like, God dang it, it's like the Times Square of reality at this point, okay? Literally, dreams are going to come to life. But you really want to begin to understand that for some people, dreams look like unicorns and fairies and rainbows. For some people, dreams look like bank accounts stacked a mile high. For some people, dreams look like what you would call a nightmare. Okay, that's their dream. So we're in this world, we're in this season, we're in this cycle for the next 20. I keep saying 25 years because that's really how the energy kind of hits, peaks, and then kind of gradually declines to 25 years. But I think the energy is not done for 28 years, right? But I think for this span of time, we really are live. We now live in a world where dreams become reality. Dreams actually come true. It's like we called it into existence. We've been saying it and saying it and saying it for years, for decades even. But no, they weren't coming true. They're coming true now, though. Now they're going to come true. They weren't coming true before. And so now it's like everyone's going to get to see in real time. Everyone's going to be trued up to what their imagination produces with no veil. Can you imagine people being able to see the type of stuff you dream about? I mean, welcome to the age of Aquarius. Um, I believe people who are not, we talked in the last episode about being immune, spiritually, strong, emotionally resilient, having mental fortitude and physical immunity, like really being able to withstand the constant flux of energy that we now live in. It's constant. How do you find your center? How do you ground in this energy? One of the easiest ways to ground and center is to be connected to your spirit team, to your spirit guides. I know this is something that it's in books. Some people talk about it. I'm not new to the rodeo, so I'm aware that some people talk about it and they can't stand it. Okay. Okay. But, your spirit guides are made up of past or loved ones, angels, guardian angels, whatever deities you believe in or subscribe to. Uh, your spirit team is a vast network of beings who are not embodied and yet they exist and they are real, whose sole mission is to support you in fulfilling your mission. They exist in different dimensions, and some of them are dormant or active depending on where you are on your path. Okay. One of my first spirit guides on my path was Ganesha. I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia, um, over 40 years ago. And I was raised into a home that absolutely did not know who Ganesha. My family still doesn't know who Ganesha is. So it's okay. They were by the time I got there, they were I don't know a polite way of saying it. But they were living their life on their terms. Um, and then when I became a toddler, my mom decided that Jesus was her path, and off she went. She ended up getting into religion, and Jesus and religion are two different things. If you know, you know. Um, but the point is, I grew up in a Judeo-Christian construct, but Ganesha was my very first spirit guide that I had. It's like I was born into Ganesha's arms somehow. I don't know. And then I had immediately Hawk and Raven with me at all times. And to the point where even up into my 20s, my late 20s, people would comment whenever I'd be outside, like, "Hey, is there a hawk in that tree? Oh my God, look, is there a raven in that tree?" They never get that close. Like, really, they would just, one would light on one branch on the side of me, the other would light on the, just there, right? And over the years, I've gathered so many more spirit guides as I've progressed along my path, my journey, and expanded beyond the animal kingdom. I have some plant allies that absolutely guide me. I have galactic energies that guide me. I have a lot of angelic energy that guides me, right? Um, but I feel like this is a really pertinent conversation because with this veil gone, you have to be able to discern who is your actual spirit guide and who is not. Now notice the tone of my voice. Notice how I'm talking about this. There's no panic or, like doomsday in my voice, because it's not that. It really is as simple though as turning on your discernment all the way, all the way, all the way. So, I was reading this book recently, and in this book, this girl takes, I call her a girl, maybe she's a young woman. Anyway, she takes, she's in a contest, and it's one of the trials or tests inside this contest she's in, and she thinks that she's talking to her friend. But after a couple moments of interaction, like just a little back and forth, she realizes the person she's talking to is not really her friend, because they're not speaking to her in the same kind of sarcastic way that her friend would. It's like this little nuance. And although she doesn't like that her friend speaks to her sarcastically, in this moment, it saves her butt, like literally in this test. Because she's being projected an illusion. There's someone who's pretending to be her friend so they can trap her somewhere. And she's like, yeah, everything, like really, her brain was telling her this is the person. And in the moment she just waited. It's like, wait a minute, this person is being very nice to me. This is not my friend. This is not you. Where's the real person? And I really like that example because for myself, my spirit team, they are sassy and saucy. Don't get me wrong. They gas me up. They do not talk down to me. And that's something I want to make very clear. Your spirit team does not talk down to you. So if you're like, well, I have a lot of voices. How do I know which one's my spirit team? Believe me, I've been there. Um, your spirit team hypes you up. They point out what you've done right. They also point out what you need to work on, but they do it in a loving and gentle way. Okay. So if you have a voice in there that's like yelling at you and calling you names, that's not your spirit team. Do not listen to that voice. Okay. Um, this is also a great time to mention, there's always some ancestor anchoring our spirit team. Okay. I say always, and I don't like to use superlatives like that in this case, but it's really, really, it's so extremely rare not to have an ancestor on your spirit team. I haven't counted it, but it's extremely, extremely rare. Okay. And that's because that ancestor is actually acting as an anchor, like this kind of bridge between your DNA and the spirit world. Um, so we all have great ancestors and we all have not so great ancestors. So something you can do if you are not clear about which ancestors are on your spirit team, you can create an ancestor altar and invite the ancestors that you know of, that you like, to come join you at that altar and meet you at that altar. Your ancestors would tell you how to keep their altar, because it is per culture, The customs are per culture, so I'm not going to tell you how to do your ancestor altar. We might not share cultures, okay? But we all have ancestor veneration in our bones. In our bones. All people were originally tribal around the world. All colors of people set in tribes around the world. We all have ancestral veneration in our bones. We just do it a little differently, okay? So once you create the altar to your ancestors and you call them in, ask them how they want you to practice. Ask them how they want you to maintain the altar. Okay, so the point is to make that connection with them so that your ability to work in the spirit realm and the astral realm is easier. Okay. Uh, that being said, you might have to do some karma cleanup. You most definitely will have to clean up some karma to make their work easier on the other side and make your work easier on the other side. Okay. If you want to talk more about that, shoot me an email because that's a whole different conversation. Okay. And then I will probably, you know what? I may go ahead and do a course on ancestor veneration. I may do it. I don't know, you guys. So you guys, this is a great time to remind you. I'm literally just right now doing these weekly podcast episodes, daily tarot readings on YouTube at Neptara Grace 144. And I'm serving face on Instagram at Neptara Grace. March of this year, March 2025, my books will be open again for group ceremony, transformational courses, the workshops, the retreats, all that will be back and we'll be ready to rock. Okay. But I'm resting at this time. So anyway, it's about using your discernment. It's about knowing your spirit team. And I'm not gonna lie, some of you may have not gotten to know your spirit team as much as would serve you best right now. So this is a reminder, this is a gentle kind of, like, hey, go do this. Take some time. Like in your shower time, that's always a great time to connect with your spirit team. I think that's when most of us are open to our spirit team. Okay. And then when you're first waking up, if you have an extra like 5 or 10 minutes where you don't have to jump right out of bed after you wake up, lie there and let this kind of bridge, let Hakat, goddess of that liminal space, bridge you to whoever on your spirit team you need to talk to. Pay attention to synchronicities and signs um, that allow you to connect deeper with your team so that when you're out here in these streets, because now these streets automatically come with astral streets too. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I see all types of stuff out the corner of my eye all the time. Okay. And it wasn't always this prolific. See, y'all know if you listen to this podcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the veil is gone. I'm like, the other day I was literally sitting I go, oh, hey, I see you. I see you. I just want somebody to know I see you. I see you. The dogs, the cats, I see all y'all running around here. All of you. So you want to know who's really on your team and who's not. And this is a time for us to be, that's a big word. Let's go with a different word. Different word. I like that word. Exclusive with our energy. Okay, this is a time for us to be exclusive with our energy. And that goes for both beings who are embodied and beings who are not embodied. Okay. I think that's all I want to say about that for now, because I think to go in any other direction is to just go deeper than we want to go in this particular episode. Let me just see. Was there anything else we want to talk about? No, that's really it. Just being able to discern what's happening around you. I think that's really important. I appreciate this conversation coming through. Thank you guys so much. Um, Mikael and Metatron. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the crew right there. Um, it's really, really, they keep using the word masquerading. They keep saying masquerading. And I always trust that these angels, my crew, I know they can see what other people, I know they can see what others can't see. I know they can see. I know they can see. I have ranking in the angelic realms, and I know the angels that roll with me are some hitters. When they say something's out here masquerading, they mean something's out here masquerading. Something masquerading. So it's like, this is just kind of like, Yeah, they're like an all points bulletin slash PSA, it's called a CSA, collective service announcement, right? Um, Behold, there are beings and entities walking amongst us, masquerading as someone who care, masquerading as someone who's on your team, but they're not. They're not on your team. I had a feeling this episode was going to go this way, but anyway, okay. It is really important. You're right. It is very important. Let me see if I can get out into words why it's important. The there is okay. One of the intentions of this season of Aquarius is purification. And this is like a time of purification. Okay. And purification has many different aspects and layers. There's a detox purification, there's a purging, right? There's a releasing. And these are all flavors, tones, or nuances of purification, if you will. We're going to experience every shade of these over the next 20 to 25 years, okay? So, yeah, they're saying like cream rising to the top. I know I'm being shown dragons. This is really about working as a team with your spirit team, honoring that you are all meant to be operating as one. This is okay, okay, okay. You likely have new spirit team members, and you need to spend time in meditation to establish a connection with these new energies. Wow. Okay. This is what's going to help you ground for the next phase of your journey. Okay. Yeah, you need this. You need this because you're at the beginning of something, even though you've done it before, and this is your last time doing it, this is the time when you get to go big. Okay. 32, 3, yeah, it's 32, 3 and 2. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Watch out for the blackbirds. They've always been seen as messengers of doom, but from here on out, they are to be seen as messengers of transformation. Roger that. All right. Well, thank you for that. That was really brilliant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I got the message out. I felt like there was more than one message there, so I anticipate that this is one of those episodes that, like each episode, it is a timeless. Whenever you listen to it, it's it's gonna it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. And so for whomever ends up listening to this, whenever, um, it's an honor to serve you in this way. Yeah, several confirmations in there for I think several different people. So outstanding. I again, coming into this episode, I just felt like there's some things that wants to be said. That's why I don't know what I'm talking about before I press record, is because they want to do this, and this is fine. Um, I love who I am. I love what I get to do, so this is fine. Um, I am going to check in though, because I feel like we have a few minutes, and just see if there's any other messages that want to come through um, before we sign off. So, Metatron, do you have anything? Yes. That's an old car. It's like an old gray Chevy. License plate XLT. Is that for real? I mean, there's an orange drink. Okay. We used to call this treasure hunting. Well, I used to call it treasure hunting. A while ago, long time ago, God, long time ago, I used to play this game with spirit like this. I'd like, give me what tell me something. Yeah, give me what you got, and I'd write it down. And I'd just get these flashes, like these clues. And I get a bunch of friends who are into it, because every now and then somebody like me can find friends. I get a bunch of friends who are into it, and we would go to the local Walmart. Like I'd get all the downloads on a Wednesday, and then Friday night we go to Walmart, like for real, at like midnight. We always went treasure hunting between like midnight and 3. We go to the local Walmart, and we would look for these clues, and it would be like yellow car, blue ball, like it just stuff you're like, what? That's not even real. But we would write it down. Go to Walmart every single Friday night. We did this. It hit every single time we scratched off everything on the list. It was crazy. We just like, where are we going? And somebody's intuition would be like, let's go over here, and we go over there, and there's that yellow car. There's a blue ball, like you start seeing it, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And more often than not, my clues would lead me to different people in Walmart who were sick. So I'd literally like find the thing, and it's in this person's cart. When I see it, and I look at the person like, hey, and I just wait for a moment. Throbbing happens in my ankle. Does your ankle hurt? Yeah. How'd you know? Can I heal that for you? You want that healed? Um, Called it treasure hunting. It was a lot of fun. That's what just came back to me. There's something in what Metatron is sharing. It's like they're clues, um, or a key code. He's saying, or a key code. So the orange drink. No, now it's yeah. It looked like an orange drink before with the lemon wedge in it. Now it looks like a lemon. Looks like lemonade now. It's an old Chevy car. And see, he's showing me the same visuals again. It's an old Chevy car. And by old, I mean like it's a 1940s gray Chevy. Um, I can only see the front of it though. What else? There was another one you had for me. No, it's not what you showed me before. Oh, so you've got the citrus, I'm gonna call it citrus drink in the glass with the straw. You got the Chevy. That is a truck, isn't it? 1940 something Chevy truck, dark gray. Well, not dark gray. It's a matte gray. It's a matte gray um, uh, paint on the body of the truck. But again, I'm only looking at the front end of it. Anything else, Metatron? No, those are the two that will stand. Okay, well, thank you so much for that. That is for somebody out here listening, and I trust it will resonate with whomever it's meant to resonate with, for sure. Um, I'm sorry, guys. There's just I feel like there's more messages trying to come through. Some of them are auditory, some of them are visual. I don't often get. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. As a matter of fact, maybe, I was thinking about maybe they were reminding me. Um, normally I don't. I normally I don't work for the living. Normally somebody on the other side taps me on the shoulder, says, "Hey, I need to get a message out," and then I will do that. I'll do that for them. I've always joked like my clients are already dead. Um, and this is one of those times where I feel like there's messages trying to get out, and it's been a while actually since they've asked me to do any type of work. It could be because a while ago I was doing so much work, I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't like finding your people, but but I do feel a few messages wanting to come through now. So I'm gonna let me do two. Can we let me just get two, please? Two priority messages out, and then we'll work something out for everybody else. Okay. Okay. Um, Irene. I'm just gonna flow. Okay. Um, Irene is the mom, cat with a K. Imp, impatient. There's a dog. Is this about the dog? Named Felix. Anything else? There's a house near the ocean with a black car in front of it. It's in front of the garage door, but it's not pulled into the garage. Looks like a nice house. Modern design. Something about the cliffs. That's all for that one. Okay, thank you. Okay, who's next? This is the last one, and then I'll create space for everyone to get their message out. We'll get it. We'll for it. Thank you. This is a priority message? Matthew Brigand. Okay. Yes, this is a priority management. You seem very official. I'm like, I'm sorry, who are you? I'm so sorry, yeah. It is official. Okay, Matthew Brigand. That's Brigand. Why am I calling somebody's name like this? Priority message from his mother. Understood. She has need of him immediately. He's to come at once. To this side. He'll know what she means. That is all. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that priority message. You guys, oh my goodness. It's been a while. It's been a while. But apparently I'm back. Look, whoever you are, whenever you are, remember to trust your process, your path, and your purpose. Ashe.